The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time for the Low Fact Podcast. I tell you.
That bell is going to be like our calling card.
Oh no, everybody's going to think we're Buddhists.
I was a Buddhist for a little while.
Dabbling in Buddhism because you want to try and get a date with some chick does not count as being a Buddhist.
I have no comment.
Oh, it was a dude?
Shut up.
Anyway, so here's another thing that kind of tickled my thinking part of the brain. And after I say it, we can move on to something else. But you know that whole Tower of Babel parable story?
Yeah. It's very early in the Old Testament.
About how, people got together and started building a tower. They were so, God got jealous, so he struck them down and made them all not understand each other. That's how different languages came about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's a lie.
Didn't they built it too high?
Yeah, they built it so high that God got a little jealous and blah, 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 right?
Does it say he got jealous?
Well, they didn't build it so high that they got
I mean, he
lightheaded from the lack of oxygen with the altitude, and they all started talking in different languages.
No, but does the parable say he got jealous, or does it say that they thought they were too powerful?
Well, whatever it was, the big man didn't like it, so
Right.
Zap. I think, because I've been thinking of some alternative explanations for things, I think that's BS, and really the Tower of Babel is really a warning, just like the too big to fail was a threat.
Okay.
The warning is we can't be unified and do things all together. And the reason I thought that was because remember how there are so many of us sit there and think that when misfortune visits us, as it does all of us, or whenever some negative things occur in our lives, whose fault is that? Right. Somebody else's. Somebody else's.
Somebody else's, definitely.
Or God, for some people.
Yeah.
Usually the people that don't believe in God. All of a sudden, right? They don't believe in God, things going great, something bad happens, all of a sudden, why is God letting this happen to me? I was like, shit, you're the one that didn't. You're the one that weren't asking for his help.
But that's sometimes why people turn to religion. Because things start going bad.
And that's fine too, but I'm talking about, again, you're talking about a subject that was not even broached, which I'm really, really seeing as a
pattern?
Yes, a pattern. Or a pattern, as we like to say in English. I think it was a warning for us to tell, don't believe the BS when people's like, we can do it all together. We're all together. We're in it together. We're unified. Because let's face it, unless we have a common enemy to fight, there is no unification. And, the people that sit there and talk about how horrible America is because there's so much inequality and blah, blah this and racial animosity and blah, blah that. I thought about the land of my ancestors, where it's only one ethnicity.
Right.
And there's just as much discrimination from where you're from, what school you went to, whatever.
That's just...
So, the whole ethnicity thing, I think is a red herring. So,
because supposedly it's a bloody, it's one of the oldest stories in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Or the oldest stories. It's a very, very, very old story.
I'm thinking some guy sat there and it was like, well, you know what? I can't blame us for being this stupid. So I'm going to blame God.
But he must have had it in a vision, though.
You're also attributing... You're kind of doing with these stories and these people, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. What I used to do with, that bunch of folks that I cannot name anymore, because it's too long, right? Is it legacy media? Is it corporate media? Is it established media? Is it Five Families media? Is it oligopolic media? I mean, I don't know what to call it, but...
How about just the media?
Because there's not that. There's the established...
right.
Powerhouse, moneyed interest media.
Yeah.
Then there's independent media or Patreon media or whatever you want to call it, because there's all the other people that are of the same ilk. There are people that want to be journalists or go into media. They are of the same ilk.
Well, it is quite annoying when people who are part of that talk about the fake news and stuff, and I'm like, you're part of it.
It's
bullshit.
I'm going to call out Fox News right now, and it's kind of funny how they all sit there and try to gang up on Fox News. I'm just sitting going, but you would work for Fox News if you had a chance. I mean, I don't see much difference between any of those.
I used to think there was a difference. That's how stupid I am.
Well, yeah, it's a difference in that they try to. It's a difference in that they tell you we're different.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm stupid. I'm like one of those people that was sitting there.
That's not
like listening to what they had to say and being like, yeah.
I agree with you. You are stupid, but I don't think that's why you're stupid. You know, taking someone at their word is not stupidity.
No, I got like it's manipulation. They're manipulating everybody.
Right, and being manipulated again is not stupidity. I don't fault anyone for that. I don't look down on people for being, you know.
You don't?
No, because that's not.
I look down on myself for being manipulated.
Well, maybe because you think that you're God. So, you know, if you stop thinking that, you would cut yourself a bigger break.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Okay, well then, Almighty One.
I got too much pride, bro.
Hey, that's your cross to bear, I suppose. I want to see how many of those. Is
it Babel or Babel?
That's a good question.
Is it Babel or B? It's not Babel as in Babble.
I think it's spelled the same way, regardless.
But that's where the expression Babel comes from.
Yes,
it's got to be.
I don't think the spelling of it really matters. It's how you pronounce it. You know, is it Babel or Babel? Kind of like, is it Iran or Iran?
It's Iran.
Or as I like to say,
it's Iran.
As I like to say, Iran.
Just to really mess with people?
At first, no. But when people sit there and do that, yes.
Yes.
Because I'm a bit of a, you know.
So, but where does that word Babel come? Is it a place?
Well, it could be from Babylon, but...
Is it a real place?
I don't know. But... I don't know where it is or what it is, but I do think it's more of a warning thing about... And it's a warning to say, if you believe that the world can be united singing Kumbaya and live in perfect harmony and...
I love that song.
Passing each other Cokes and shit.
Uh-huh.
I think you're kind of mistaken because that just... Hell, that can't even happen within a family sometimes.
Dude, when I saw that Coke commercial, I was like, yes!
You were 3 when you saw that Coke commercial. What are you talking about?
No, it wasn't. It came out like...
I'd like to teach the world to sing. Yeah, we were like 5, 6.
I love this. But I love that commercial.
I was like 5, 6, and I lived in America, so you must have been at least 14, 15 by the time it got down to New Zealand.
Also like the Juicy Fruit commercial.
I like
the Juicy Fruit was on the tree, and they would come and pick the Juicy Fruit.
I like No, I saw the Juicy Fruit commercial with that cute blonde with the big boobs taking off her top to go water skiing.
Oh,
I think I hit puberty right then.
Man, we didn't have that one in New Zealand. This must be too puritanical.
Yeah, I was like 4 or 5 when I saw that commercial, and I think I popped a boner.
Wow, you got some problems.
I do have problems.
So can we finish off with one other topic?
Sure.
I don't know if it's a good topic or not.
It's probably not, but
it's
go right
here
ahead.
In California, so it's Thanksgiving coming up, and we have a new rule from our wise Governor Newsom talking about all the shit that we can't do at Thanksgiving. So
joke's on him. I didn't do jack shit Thanksgiving anyway.
So no more than 3 families, and
I'm just under.
You got to eat outside. You can't get together for more than 2 hours. No singing. I think you're supposed to bring your food in like prepackaged containers and like not share it with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he got in a lot of trouble because he went to a party.
But that happens a lot.
Like he went to a fucking and everyone's like, oh my God, like I can't believe he did this. And I'm like, why is that? Like why? Like either people are dumb.
They are dumb.
And they're super, super shocked, or they're pretending like they're shocked by this.
I don't see why you could be. Look, since the beginning of the lockdown, the whole lockdown thing, I think is kind of funny too, because when people talk about we're going to do 6 weeks of lockdown to fix it. And I'm like, you just did 8 months.
Yeah,
How is 6 more weeks going to help anything?
Yeah, all we need is 6 weeks. And you're like, oh, well, 6 weeks of a real lockdown, like the Dave Beck lockdown.
The Dave Beck lockdown would be 6 weeks of pretty much if you're on the street, you're fair game.
So yours is like the authoritarian lockdown.
Well, they keep on saying if you haven't done it the right way, you got to make sure and go full tilt on it. That's full tilt. The only problem is you say that's what's going to happen, you'd have a revolution on your hands.
Yes.
Now, going back to the Gavin Newsom thing, why be shocked that he went to a party? I mean, didn't Chris Cuomo leave his basement quarantine to go to his mom's house while he still supposedly had COVID?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he claims he didn't do that. Didn't Bill de Blasio go out to a whole different area to go to the park?
Yes.
When he was telling people to stay home?
Yes.
Didn't Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, sit there and get her hair done because, hey, I need to look good because part of my job is being on TV.
Was it Lori Lightfoot or was it Nancy Pelosi? It was both of them.
Lori Lightfoot first, and then Nancy Pelosi, who got set up in that, who got set up.
Oh yeah,
by that beauty salon,
right?
And then most recently, the mayor of D.C., who says these are all the stuff you can't do, and then proceeded to do all kinds of stuff because everything she does is essential.
Right. Like, yeah.
So, everything, it's like, okay, essential employee, everything I do is essential. So, yes, I need to go out and I need to mingle and I need to go to these political things and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, what is an essential worker?
A BS term to try to keep the normies shut up.
Right.
If you want to know the truth about it, because like the French Revolution, that wasn't a revolution of the rabble and the masses. That was rich people. Russian Revolution, that wasn't a revolution of the rabble and the masses. In fact, those people were slaves. The peasantry were slaves up until like 200 years before.
So did the rich people fund the rabble?
Well, on the Russian Revolution, the German army funded the Bolsheviks, right. But yes.
So you just use the rabble then for your own ends.
And for those of us, if you don't know whether or not you're rabble, like really know, then you're rabble. What? Like, hey, like me, I know I'm rabble. I'm fine with it,
dude. You're like bringing the fucking like truth.
It's only truth if people decide to believe in it.
Bringing the truth all week. You know what? Every day, right now.
That sounds like a skit from something.
Yeah, I don't know what it's from.
It sounds kind of like Kevin Hart doing something.
Yeah, I was trying to do Kevin Hart.
But anyway, so there it is. The whole. So, what was your point about the hypocrisy of?
Yeah, it's just firstly, my whole point was like, why are people surprised? A, and B, it is hypocrisy, and it's not going to fucking fly. I don't think people are going to.
What are you talking about? It's not going to fly. Dancing below all these people still got elected.
No, I'm talking about people sitting there. People aren't going to not celebrate Thanksgiving, and if you are, you're a fool.
What?
If you're going to sit there and listen to what Gavin Newsom is telling you to do at Thanksgiving, then you're a fool.
I think if you're going to sit there and listen to what anybody is telling you, and just kind of believe it,
then you're a fool.
You're a bit of a fool. Which is why I don't think it's particularly offensive if someone disagrees with me. I'd love to have a heated argument with people.
We need like probably more people on the podcast that you can have an argument with.
Nah, because that's a pretty intimate thing.
An argument?
Oh yeah.
But we don't really have good arguments.
No, because you're not fun.
I don't like arguments.
I get turned on when I argue with people.
Yeah.
It's a lot better if it's women that I'm arguing with, but it gets to that point when if it's men and I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, on that note, I feel a bit uncomfortable, so
I told you I'm pansexual.
I need to leave.